All right, so Friday night football. You might think it's kind of the quiet before the weekend storm, right? Not a lot going on, but for a strategic mind, Friday is actually where the real action can be if you know where to look. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to deconstruct a pretty cool strategy for building a massive accumulator bet by taking a little tour all across Europe's Friday games.
So, that's the big question, isn't it? When you don't have a ton of those big marquee matchups to choose from, how on earth do you find enough solid picks to actually build something valuable? It really is like a puzzle. And the tool we're going to use to piece it all together is the accumulator.
Okay, so before we dive in and start building this thing, let's just make sure we're all on the same page. What is an accumulator, or an ACA as you'll hear it called? Well, simply put, it's one big bet that strings together a bunch of smaller individual bets. You might hear them called legs. And here's the catch, the real kicker. For you to win, every single one of those legs has to come through. All of them. It's what makes the potential payout so big, but yeah, it's also what makes it so incredibly challenging.
All right, now that we know what our tool is, let's get to work. Our European tour to hunt for those Friday night gems starts right now.
First stop, we're heading east. Think of this as laying the foundation of a house. We need a solid, reliable base to build everything else on. So we're looking for what you might call bankers, those early, high-confidence picks that we can really count on.
So our first foundational block comes from Azerbaijan. We're backing over 1.5 goals in the Kapaz versus Zira match. Then we hop over to Armenia. Same idea, over 1.5 goals for Gandzasar Kapan against BKMA. And for our third leg, we're switching it up a bit, heading to the Women's U19 Euro qualifiers. Here, we're going for over 2.5 goals in the game between Latvia and Kazakhstan. And just like that, boom, we've got our first 3 legs on the board. A nice, solid start.
Okay, foundation's in place. Now we're heading northwest. Next stop is Denmark, and this is where our strategy starts to evolve a little bit. We're going to target a league that's basically famous for one thing: goals.
And you know, this whole thing is also about timing, right? We're moving through the day. As we get into those evening games, our focus gets sharper. We're zooming in on these leagues where goals just seem to happen, where the patterns are way more predictable.
The name of the game here is consistency. We're adding 3 more bets from the Danish First Division, all with the same pick, over 1.5 goals. That's for the games involving SonderjyskE, Hillerod, and B93 Copenhagen. See what we're doing? We're not even trying to pick a winner. We're just betting on the league itself, on its reputation for being a goal machine.
All right, buckle up because we're now heading to the absolute powerhouse of this entire strategy. Seriously, if the first few picks were the foundation, this is the engine room. This is where we get our power. We're going to the Netherlands and we're zeroing in on the Eerste Divisie.
So why this league? Well, as the source material points out, and it's spot on, the Eerste Divisie is just famous for goals. It's not a gut feeling, it's not a random guess. This is a cold, calculated move based on years of data. And our plan? We're going to lean into that reputation hard. And when I say hard, I'm not kidding. We are about to drop a massive 5 new legs into our accumulator, all from this one single league. This right here is the moment that gives our bet its real weight, its real power.
And here they are. Check it out. 5 different games. We've got VV Venlo versus AD Den Haag, all the way to Cambuur versus Helmond Sport. And the pick for every single one, you guessed it, over 1.5 goals. It's this incredible concentration of what should be high-probability events that really juices the whole thing up. It's a bold move for sure, but it's the absolute heart of this strategy. Okay, our trip around Europe is almost done. We've laid the foundation, we've fired up the engine. Now we just need the final piece of the puzzle. For that, we're heading over to Wales for what I'm calling the finisher.
Now, this last leg is a little different. We're not just picking goals. In the match between the New Saints and Caernarfontown, the pick is actually a 2-parter. TNS to win the match and for there to be over 2.5 goals. So yeah, the odds are a bit higher on this one, but it's a calculated risk. It's based on a really dominant team's history. Think of it as the final confident flourish on our masterpiece. And there we have it. 12 legs, all locked in. Our accumulator is built. But now, let's pull back for a second. Let's zoom out from the individual games and really look at the logic, the blueprint behind it all. Because at the end of the day, this is all about strategy. It's not about claiming to know the future.
So if you boil it all down, what did we actually just do? It was basically 4 simple steps. 1, we started with a rock-solid foundation of those banker picks. 2, we layered on more and more high-probability bets.
3. We really leaned into leagues that are famous for goals. And 4. We chained them all together to create this cumulative value. See? Simple when you break it down.
Here's maybe an easier way to think about it. Any one of these picks, like over 1.5 goals in a single game, isn't worth much on its own. The odds are tiny. But the whole point of an accumulator is to link them together, like links in a chain. And with every link you add, the chain gets longer. And yeah, the risk that one link will break gets higher, but so does the potential reward. You're turning a bunch of tiny maybes into one big possibility.
And that brings me to the most important point of all, something the source material is very clear about. Look, at the end of the day, this is a fascinating strategic exercise. It's a really cool lens to look at football through, but it is absolutely not a guarantee. It's not a sure thing. So please, as always, if you're engaging with this stuff, be smart and bet responsibly.
So I want to leave you with this one final question. After we've gone on this whole journey from Azerbaijan all the way to Wales, and we've built this complex thing, what's the real prize here? Is it the potential win at the end of the night? Or is the real prize just understanding the strategy itself, understanding the logic, the risk, the thought process that goes into creating something like this from scratch? I'll let you be the judge of that.